There we go. Alrighty. That was being a little bit stupid. Good morning. We'll try this again. I really want to do this stream, so we'll try this again. What had happened, my pilot HTC wasn't working, but what the problem was is just stupidity on Bill's part. I was trying to contact HTC on the wrong frequency. It just ignored me. Once I finally got the right frequency, then we were okay. So let's try this again.
OBS sim sound.
OBS sim sound. I think it was working. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay.
Check. Mod mic in position.
Yes.
Check. OBS mod mic sound.
1, 2, 3, 4. Good.
Check. OBS streaming.
Yep, I'm streaming.
Check. Over toolkit windows.
Yeah, we've got two windows.
Fly with Lewis sound script.
Yep.
Check. ABI tab plugin.
Yep.
Check. Rep weight and balance.
I'm sure that's okay, but I'm gonna do the maintenance log.
Rep maintenance log.
Let's I'll bet you I got a low battery about now. So let's look at the maintenance log and see what it says. All looks good. 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 Yep. 148. Because I was running the radios trying to, there we go. Okay.
Check. 2 brakes. Test and set. 3 fuel selector. Both. 4 fuel shut-off valve. On, in. 6 beacon. On. 7 avionics switch. Off. 8 master switch. On. 9 throttle. Open 1/4 inch. 10 mixture. Idle cutoff. A auxiliary pump. On. B mixture. Rich until 3 to 5 GPH, then cut off. C auxiliary pump. Off. 12 starter. Engage. 1 ignition switch. Start. 2 mixture, at engine start. Rich. 3 engine. RPM 1000 RPM. 4 oil pressure. Check. 5 mixture. Leaned max. 6 flaps. Retract. 7 avionics. On. 8 instruments.
Oh, it should be 4121. We're good.
Set. 1 brakes.
We're all good. Hide. So let me let's get this back set up. I think it's EGSC. Yep. EGBB. EGNX. EGCN. EGNJ. So much fun. Let's see, 44, that looks good. Okay, let me think here a minute. Yep, that'll, not too bad. Be okay. Get to all my switches, I get to my trim. We're all good to go. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, you were garbled. Please say again.
Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 23.
Okay, 23. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready to taxi.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf taxi to runway 23 via taxiways Alpha. Hold short runway 23.
Oh, let's see which way I should turn here. That looks like I'm going the right way. Are there any taxi lines over this way? There isn't any, but I think I can go over here. Yeah, taxi line starts right there. Okay, that's what I thought. So I'm gonna go up to the. I'm gonna go up to the end of this runway here. Do a back taxi.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf advise when ready for departure.
Okay. Let's spun around here. Everything looks pretty good. Yep. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf ready for departure.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 192 at 10 knots, altimeter 299er cleared for takeoff. Runway 23 squawk 1200.
Off we go. So I got to turn to my heading of 283. So I'm doing real time here in the UK, and since I'm about half an hour late, taking off, could get a little dark by the time I finally get done with this, but I really wanted to do this flight, so. And the whole time I was not streaming, I was just troubleshooting, trying to figure out what is wrong with Pilot ATC. I can't believe I made that dumb a mistake, but it's all the fun of streaming. Kudoki. No doubt about it, every time I stream I learn something new. So I'm just doing a really slow turn here, just kind of circling the airport. Good morning, Iowa. Good to see you this morning. I'm glad I could actually finally get this stream running. What a pain. Oh well. Got a power station down there by the looks of it. Got all kinds of towers like leaving it. Yeah, it's gotta be that. Gotta be a substation. That's kind of cool. Yep. Kind of neat how them features show.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, have a nice day. Frequency change approved.
Well, thank you. So our this first leg's a long leg. It's about 70 miles, so it'll be I wouldn't use the word boring, but it'll take a while to get there. And I kind of looked at the weather. The weather today is about, the last time I did this, I did about 2 days ago. The weather was a little bit better. But we'll just see how it goes here. Just trying to get the plane trimmed to about 1,500 feet. Haven't quite got there yet. But quite frankly, Pilot's ATC is so much of my how I like to stream that if I can't get it to work, I can't. It just lacks something for me, so. I don't necessarily need it. I could fly the flight plan without it, but I kind of like the interaction. And it kind of helps. I want to sometimes start flying on VATSIM, and it's the only way I know how to try to get some comfort level talking to the ATC. It's all fake, but it still does kind of forces you to do the procedures and stuff, so. It's kind of funny, when I was flying for real, when I first started, I was certainly afraid of the radio for sure. And but one thing that I learned out of a class, let me think a minute. I think it was a class Delta, if I remember correctly, but it had a tower, so it was a KERI, so it's Erie International Airport, and yeah, I know. No problem. But when I started, I was kind of there was 2 different airports I could have started at. One was non-towered and one was towered. And they were about the same distance apart in opposite directions. But so I'm glad I started at the towered airport. I really, really am. It kind of forced me to learn to talk on the radio, not be afraid, and So that was beneficial, no doubt about it. So I'm kind of glad I did what I did. The other advantage is flight following. So you always have ATC kind of like they have your back. So if you're down in a practice area and there's another plane shows up, they'll let you know that hey, there's another plane. It should be at your 3 o'clock. Do you see him? You know, and so you'd look and see if you could find him, and so that was really helpful. So. So that's why I try to do as much as you can the proper procedures, you know, and I will rarely do I want to go to an airport and just fly straight in. I just don't. I want to fly the pattern. A couple of reasons. One is gives you enough time to get the plane set up so you can do a better approach. So, but sometimes that's just not the way it is. Sometimes you'll be cleared straight in. So, you know. So if you're used to on your downwind, put out a notch of flaps, and then on base another notch of flaps, on the final flap, notch of flaps, and all of a sudden you have a straight in approach. You got to figure out how to do all that coming straight in. So and kind of judge the distance when you should do it and all that good stuff. So it's quite a bit different if you normally have been flying, you know, always flying in a pattern. So. Okay. So it sounds like on Tuesday we're going to get software update 6 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I hope I see a difference. I hope I actually see improvement in VR. I really do. I would like to also be able to stream it in VR, but we'll just have to see how that works out, if that's a possibility or not. The last time I flew in VR in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it wasn't good enough that I would have streamed it. So we'll just have to see. I'm kind of hoping it is. I'm hoping there's good improvements in VR. They say there are. So we'll see if that's true on my VR system, not on somebody else's. The other thing that's going on is there's a couple of VR announcements kind of coming in next week, I think it is. So be kind of interesting what all that's all about. I guess the Vario 3, they're kind of teasing they're going to have a consumer. They're kind of teasing they're going to have a consumer headset. I'm not so sure. I know currently that's just way out of line. I mean, forgot how much that thing is. It's over $2,000. It's $3,000, I think. And then you have to have a monthly contract with them. It's kind of like. Maybe okay for a corporation, but it certainly ain't okay for even a prosumer. I mean, just no way. But so far, I've been really happy with the headset I have. So I'm not really looking. I mean, if something spectacular shows up, I'll certainly look. But right now, I'm really happy with what I see in the performance of my Vive Pro 2. So. So I should be on a heading of 283. It looks like that's where I am. Thought the weather was going to be even worse than what I'm seeing, so that's kind of cool. Still, that just haziness that just makes you look out in the distance. If there was an airport out there, it just makes it really, really hard to find them. So it just kind of adds to the challenge. Yeah, kind of the reason I want to do that sim is I wanted to join one of Downwind Sim's bush flight. So I'm kind of hoping that the next one he has, I'll be kind of ready. We'll see. Because I think they use Discord to kind of talk amongst themselves, and then they use VetSim, something like a CTAP frequency or something, if I understood it correctly, to make the calls when you're approaching one of the bush strips. So I think I want to at least try that. Yeah, today's flight, the frames I see are a bit lower than what they were before. I think part of it is that it's it's way more overcast, so that it seems to have a pretty big impact on my frames in VR. So, but as long as they're where they are, I'll be okay. I don't see any real stutters. No, don't look too bad. Make sure yeah, that's where I was, so. Just want to make sure my resolution is the same, so it is, so. So if the resolution is the same, the only difference is how much more demanding it is drawing all this stuff overhead. Because I was around 45. Last time I did this flight, I think I was around 45. So, and we're dancing between 30 and 40 actually. It was more steady before, but it's okay. Not too terrible. That's one thing I have noticed with X-Plane is in VR, the weather, overcast especially, has a pretty big performance impact on you. So when you're flying with skies like this, where almost the whole sky is like covered, you can't see anything. You can't see individual clouds. It's all clouds. That has a pretty big impact. So, and that's been that way. I think during my whole journey in VR, it's always been that way. So, not much has improved that. You know, it's just the way it is. So. And as long as you don't get too low, it doesn't seem to have a dramatic impact. So. Some more windmills. But I personally kind of like, if possible, to fly real weather, real time, if it's possible. So. Yeah, and so that's really this kind of shows what I was saying. Whoops. So now the whole sky isn't covered in clouds now. I'm kind of, it was kind of behind me and I'm kind of flying out of it. So now the frames went from, say, 30 to 40 to almost like a steady 45. That's the difference, at least on my systems, that my VR systems, that an overcast condition will do to it. It will dramatically. So that's what, at least 5, if not 10 frames. And it went from seeing reds to there's no reds at all now. It's mostly greens, yellows. It's a dramatic difference. So, but that's what I've experienced in VR as long as I've used it. So I was just looking up. I was going like, the overcast is going away. I said, I wonder what the frames did. They're back basically to where they were when I did the last flight. The last flight. Yeah. That's kind of the point of flying. You fly in the weather. Yeah, I think the neatest thing I ever seen flying, I was pretty early in my flight training. We were flying out to Lost Nation. Lost Nation's like right outside of Cleveland, so it's about it's probably close to 50 nautical miles, if not just a little bit more from Erie. And so we're flying along the coast of Lake Erie and inland a little bit. You look and you can see clouds building. So basically what it is it's the beginning of a thunderstorm. But you could actually watch the clouds grow as you flew by them. And they were inland by probably 4 or 5 miles, maybe more. But you could obviously see them. You could just watch them. You could watch the vertical increase, the clouds growing in size. You could watch it. It was like so cool. But I'm like young in flight training, so I don't understand what that really means, you know? It's kind of like, if this doesn't get any better, we may not make it back to Erie. so I didn't understand that part of it. I was just enamored with with nature. So, and that was pretty cool to see it up close and personal. You know, not within half a mile, but close enough you could see what was going on. So it was pretty neat. And the speed that it was growing was incredible. So, because it was I can't remember actually if it was a morning flight. I did quite a few morning flights or an afternoon flight, because I did a lot of training after work. I'd work 8-hour shift at work and come home, change clothes, and drive out to the airport probably less than 2 hours after I got done working, and do an hour or 2-hour flight. I would do that pretty regularly, because that's when I had time to fly. But my shift started at 6, so I got done at 2. So I could be out at the airport at around 4, and you had plenty of time for a couple-hour flight after work. So I did that quite a bit. And then my job kind of allowed me to, sometime during the day, depending on the workload, I could get I could do the weather briefing and all that stuff ahead of time. And if I couldn't get it done before during work. Then when I got home, that was the first thing I did, called a weather briefer, and I got the weather briefing of for the flight. Kind of make sure, and at that point in time, I'd make a go no go because I was. You could cancel up to an hour before a flight and you'd be okay. If you waited too much longer than that, they kind of frowned on that. So, but I always try to get my weather briefing in, so I can make a go no go decision myself. So. And on a day like today, I would not be flying in real life. No way. Okay, we got 22 miles to the first airport. Because we would fly pretty much year round. We would fly in the wintertime. Wintertime is, that can be like terribly entertaining. I remember a time when we were getting ready to do a flight, and the weather didn't look bad. It really didn't. And so we, but in the wintertime, the planes weren't out on the aprons. They were in the hangar. So you had to go to the hangar, open up the hangar, tow the plane out. You had to go through all that, and do your pre-flight check once you got it out of the hangar and stuff. So, and if it needed fuel, then you had to call fuel truck, wait for it. But so we would do that during the winter. And I remember one day we did that, and we taxied down to the run-up area, and run-up area was like a place off the taxiways, like an apron where you could get out away from the planes that were taxiing, and you could do your run-up and stuff. So I spun the plane around into the wind, and I was doing my run-up, and I'm looking ahead, and I'm like, I said to my instructor, I said, what is that? And so I'm looking at the end of the runway, because runway at the time was about 5,600 feet. And so I'm looking, and I can't see the end of the runway. It's like black. I'm like, what on earth is that? And he says, I'm not sure. Well, that black started moving towards us. That was a snowstorm. So we're out here doing a run-up, and all of a sudden it starts snowing. And it was snowing bad. I mean, it was snowing so bad you couldn't see 30 feet in front of you. It was bad. And in the meanwhile, there's a regional, turboprop regional, like a DC, an 8, or like an 8 or something like that. So I distinctly remember the tower saying the tower couldn't see us, and the tower is not that far from us. He lost us. He couldn't find us. And so you got a regional turboprop that's taxiing because it taxied by us, and so he kind of wanted us to like stay away from each other. So we went ahead, and of course it's kind of like, well, we're not flying today. So we started the taxiing back, and I told my instructor, I says, I cannot see. I says, if we're going to taxi back, I says, you're going to do it because I can't see. So he went ahead and taxied back, and it was just amazing how little visibility there was, But we went ahead and let the regional, he had to go back and de-ice before he could take off. So kind of an experience you never forget. Kind of like, wow. The tower can't even find you on the airport. That's bad. I did ask the question, can we brush the snow off and fly? That was a resounding no. I'm like, okay. Because the snowstorm come and went quick. I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't half an hour and the snowstorm runs. It went by us. Well, it's a great thing about training in the, training where it snows. That happens. Some more windmills over there to the left. The windmills everywhere out through here. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're going to Birmingham? Certainly this part of England is pretty flat. Yeah, I remember like the first time I come to Europe, including England, I was surprised as to how much legitimate farmland there is. I mean, where, you know, I guess my crazy understanding of geography was that because the countries are smaller, you know, that you had to have cities everywhere, but not even close. I mean, lots and lots and lots of countryside, just lots of it. And that probably was one of my biggest surprises, was that, just how much countryside there is. We would, so we would fly to a major city, and then we would get a hotel that was by a train station, and so then we would get on a train and go to wherever we were going to go, and take a train. So so that was always like a lot of fun to. Where you got to see the countryside because you're in a train, and even though the trains were fairly fast, they weren't that fast that you couldn't actually see the countryside. So, and that's what we would do. We would actually do like we would the city that we landed at was kind of like a hub. And then we would do a circle on train out and around, and then come back to that city again when we departed by plane. So that was a lot of fun. We did that for, wow, 6 or 8 years, maybe more. And every year go to different countries. So went back to same countries a few times. Italy we've probably been to the most. Actually, Italy and France. Been to the most. But my girlfriend has friends in Italy, so I have some too. But she has a friend that lives at Torre del Greco by Mount Vesuvius. So that was the first trip we did, is to go visit him, and that was fun. 9 days in Italy, and every other day he would take us on an excursion. The other days we were on our own, and it was just a hoot. It was just a hoot. A lot of fun. Learned a lot. Learned the love of gelato. But I think all in all, we've probably been, I think we're pushing 30 countries now, so. And countries that weren't on first on my agenda, but we're on Sherry's. So like Hungary was one of them. Go to Budapest. That was pretty cool. I didn't know what to think. I really didn't. But it was a lot of fun. Got to go to Czech Republic twice. I have a friend that lives there. And also to Slovakia. I have a friend that lives there. Got to go back to Turkey, where I was stationed for a year and a half back in the very early 70s. That was neat. Don't think I'd do it now, but it was neat when we did it. Like a policeman. Yep. A policeman down there. That's pretty cool. And we've been to England, so a trip in England. Where were we at? We were in England and Ireland on that trip, and then we took 1 day, maybe 2 days, and took the Channel. So we went from London to Paris using the Channel, and spent a day in Paris, and then come back to London. So that was pretty neat. I had heard about it, but I never experienced it. But that was pretty neat. So we're 10 minutes out, 16 miles. Set COM1 standby 118.305.
COM1 standby on 134.175.
Well, you missed that pretty badly. Set COM1 standby 118.305.
COM1 standby set to 118.305.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. Not sure what happened there. So I wanted to check plane command also to make sure it was working. What happened the other day is I didn't have my mod mic or my headset audio. I didn't have it set up. Windows didn't recognize it when I first started, and I started up some applications before I got that fixed. And because of that, Pilot ATC wasn't happy. Plane Command and X-Plane wasn't happy. So So this morning I thought I had it all figured out. Obviously I didn't at the beginning, but I do now, so. So, what do we got? We got 33 and 15. 200? I'm thinking it'll be... Nope, probably gonna be 15. I'm guessing that. Using a Fulcrum 1 yoke, and they have a forum over on HabSim, a support forum, and there's people that are complaining about the yoke, about the center of the yoke, like how it how the center works. They feel there's I don't know what to call it. That there's kind of like a binding, like in the center of it, and I tend to get the plane trimmed, and I'll fly for miles without touching it too much. So, like right now, I mean, it's fairly well in trim right now. It's oscillating just a little bit, not a lot, but I don't seem to have that problem. So I'm not so sure what the deal is. So, and maybe it's a different sim too. That's always a possibility. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Cambridge Tower on 125.9 or go ahead.
Would help to be on the right frequency. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Birmingham Tower on 118.3, please repeat your request.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good afternoon. Squawk 1200, altimeter 29er 7, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 15. Call downwind.
Okay. So we're 8 miles out, and it kind of looks like it should be on my left. Elevation is 327, so 1,300 feet would be pattern. Okay, pretty big runway, 7,500 feet. Just haven't found it yet. .9 miles away. Should be right straight in front of me, so. But it's just not obvious. Right there. I believe, yeah, it's right there. So I'm gonna have to turn here. Let me look. Yep. So I'm doing a teardrop here so I can get lined up, get set up for the downwind. So I'll go ahead and do a 180 and hopefully I'll better see that runway. It wasn't real obvious. But we'll figure it out. I believe it's right there. Yep. Yep. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf downwind runway 15.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf call turning final for runway 15.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf requests touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 201 at 6 knots cleared for the option runway 15.
Okay. Okay. There's the end of the runway. Airspeed's in the white arc. 1 notch of flaps. Pull the power back a little bit. Maybe 1800 or so. Trying to fly parallel to the runway. Find a 45 degree. Probably close. Go ahead and turn on base. Second notch of flaps. Try not to turn too steep. Lined up, whoop. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 201 at 6 knots cleared for the option runway 15.
Good luck. We turn on final, we should be 500 feet above the runway. Looks like we're there by a little bit high maybe. We're high. We got a pretty good display threshold here. Not one of my better landings. Up we go. Try to maintain runway heading here. Our next course will be 35. Excuse me. Pretty big airport here. Okay, heading to 35. So, next airport's 26 miles away. So I've been trying to improve my, reduce the number of shimmering, the amount of shimmering in the sim. So, so I turned down one graphical setting and then turned up my anti-aliasing, and so far I'm fairly happy with what I'm seeing. So, so what I look at is like towers, like those windmills. I look at them. I also look at power lines. Power lines, if you don't have your anti-aliasing working, like they'll shimmer like gangbusters. So, so I kind of look, and when I can see some power lines to make sure I can see the individual lines, and including the towers, and there isn't any shimmering. And so far that's been working out pretty good. So pretty happy with what I've done. So because earlier it wasn't good. I'll put it that way. So I'm pretty happy with the changes I made, and in general the frames have been okay. So I see we're back to pretty good overcast, and I can see it in the frame. So. So this airport coming up, I have a terrible time with trying to get a hold of the tower. Not sure what the deal is. It's almost like I have the wrong frequencies for the tower. It's what it acts like, but we'll have to see what we can do about it. Cause it's called it's East Midlands, and every time I fly into this, it just gives me grief. I'm not sure why. Set COM1 standby 124.000.
COM1 standby set to 124.0.
So I'm going to try to contact the tower early. Normally I wait till 10, but I think I'm going to try at 15 and see if I can see if it goes better. Avatab says the frequency is supposed to be 124.005. And we'll see what Pilot ATC says. And Pilot ATC doesn't even have a tower frequency for it. It's kind of bizarre. A little crazy what's going on. Well, that ain't right. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is radar control, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good afternoon. Squawk 1200, expect runway 20.
And that's wrong. That's just absolutely wrong. The runway is runway 27 and 09. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 27.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, roger.
Well, at least that frequency, and that's the one that Avatab says, at least that frequency says 27. So, well, that's a good thing. Okay, 8.5 miles out. About 5 minutes. The runway is 8,400 feet, so it's a big, long runway. By the looks of how the runway is, to get set up for a downwind of 2.7, I'm going to have to do what I did for the previous airport and make a left-hand turn here and fly up past the runway and then do a 180 to get lined up for it. Not quite obvious. It says it's 2 miles away, so it's not quite obvious yet. But I'll go ahead and get out this way a little bit. And make a 180-degree turn to get set up for a downwind. So hopefully it'll be a little more obvious when I'm a little bit closer. Just the haze and stuff just makes this kind of... They don't stand out. That's fine. I'm going to turn out this way a bit. Just want to make sure I'm out far enough that I can do a rather slow 180-degree turn. And as I'm turning in, I'm looking to see if I can find that runway. So, alrighty, I'm far enough. Go ahead and make a 180 turn. not too steep. There she is. Usually when I do those turns, when I roll out of them, it's usually not too even weather like this, it's not too hard to find. So we're gonna go back to 2000. Trim. Then the bad boy. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 27.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf altimeter 299er 4 call turning final for runway 20.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is East Midlands radar control on 124.0, please repeat your request.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is East Midlands radar control on 124.0, please repeat your request.
Say active runway.
Arriving and departing runway 27.
That's just priceless. So when you ask for the active runway, it says 27. When I try to request a touch and go, it says 20. Oh well, that's life. So we got a notch of flaps out, looking for the end of that runway, looking for it to be 45 degrees. Say that's close enough. We'll turn on base. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turning final. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call 10 mile final 20, roger. Change to advisory frequency approved.
Cessna
Report
6
via
Bravo
inside
Golf.
or cancel IFR when on the ground.
I'm not flying IFR. Maybe that's the problem. Alrighty. Gotta get slowed down here. Just have to let this float a bit. Up we go. Might run out of daylight. Gonna be a heading of 17. Cool. Yeah, I don't know what there is about this airport, but I just can never get it to say tower. It's always like radar control or something like that. And legitimately it has a tower, so I mean it's a pretty big airport, so it's kind of weird why it does what it does. But so we got to get to a heading of 17. There's 30. 20, we'll say that's close enough. Looks like my heading is in off a little bit. About like that. Yeah, that should be better. So next airport's 49 miles away, says 21 minutes. Make it a little dicey. I think I got 2 more airports to go. Yeah, let's have to see. May have to roll back the time a little bit. Don't want to, but we'll just have to see. Oh. Next airport is Doncaster, Sheffield. EGCN. It's got to be on the, looks like it's got to be on the shore because it's 55 feet, so. Ooh. Yeah, underneath a great big cloud. So where I'm going, it looks like the weather's a bit better. Not a lot, but it says scattered at 26 and broken at 43, so that should be better. It kind of looks like the way I'm going, it's I'll get from out from underneath this cloud, so, or this overcast, I guess the right way to say it. It's also pretty dense scenery too, so also may have impact. Because there's just a lot of buildings underneath us. So it could be a combination of both of them. Mm-hmm. Not sure if I'm going to get out from underneath this crazy cloud. Kind of looks like as I move, it's moving with me, so I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe I'm coming to the edge of it. 128.775. And that didn't seem like that difficult to do. It would be similar to what you would do in a real airplane, where you'd be basically twisting a knob, and I just did the same thing, but I'm just doing it with a VR controller. So, and I can hear them. I can hear the clicks in the headset, and I can feel them in the VR controller. So, I just kind of like the way that that X-Plane implemented the VR controller support. If you had hand tracking, I suppose you could do the same thing with your hands, but I would have to experience that and see how that works. To see, I know how precise I can be with using the VR controller. I would be very interested into if you could do the same thing tracking your hands. The fact that I'm using a base station system that knows where my controller is precisely. I mean, within millimeters, it knows where this is. Could you legitimately, with cameras on your headset, track your hands with the same level of precision? That's the issue. And I'm not sure if I've ever heard an answer to that. There's a big difference between saying that that you can track hands and doing it precisely. There's a very big difference. So I'm open to it, but I'm not so sure how well it would work in practice. Kind of getting a little dark. I know how precise this is. Yes, I know that that exists, but how good is it? I mean, it's got to be really good to come up and you would have to do the same thing as I do with my VR controllers, where your hand would have to highlight that knob, and then you squeeze it and you turn that knob. Somebody would have to kind of show me how precise that would be. I'm not sure. I mean, I just know it's a different mechanism as opposed to using the VR controllers that are tracked by my lighthouses. I mean, this is a very precise. It knows exactly where this is. I'm just not so sure how precise it would be. Yeah, I just, because I keep hearing, like, the people that want hand tracking, and hey, that's kind of cool. You wouldn't have to use VR controllers, but it's gotta be precise. It can't be off by, a few millimeters. It just can't be for it to work. So, it's just kind of curious. So. Because I know I have heard some comments from Ben Supnick, when people talk about hand tracking, and his understanding that in the sim that is not an easy task. so I'll take him at his word. He would know how easy or hard something is. And if he thinks it's a difficult task, doesn't mean he won't do it, but it means that it's not as easy as some people think. So that's why I wanted to do that, is actually do it with, as opposed to using voice, actually use the controllers to do that. And that's how that's done in X-Plane. It will be interesting with software update 7 when they bring VR controller support to Microsoft Flight Simulator, how well that works. Because that's kind of the prime example of it. Switches aren't too bad. Switches are kind of big, but when you're and switches, the motions are bigger. So when you flip the switch up, you're moving that controller quite a bit. Where here it's a rotational thing. So you're basically holding in the trigger and then rotating the VR controller, and the base station is keeping track of where this is and in relationship to what effect it's having on that knob. So it is getting kind of dark. So we're 7 miles out from the airport. Wonder if it's easier to see with lights. Something over there looks kind of long. Forgot to make a radio call. Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is approach, go ahead.
Approach? I don't want approach, I want tower. EGCN. Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land. Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land. Really? Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, you were garbled. Please say again.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, arriving and departing runway 20.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land. She ain't very happy with me tonight. I don't know why. Normally don't fly in the dark, but this is actually kind of cool. Oh, I gotta find that end of that runway. I still haven't actually been given a clearance to land, so I'll swing around here, get on the downwind, and see what the response is. I'll turn out this way a little bit. Alrighty, I'll go ahead and do a 180. Get lined up for the downwind. Not get too steep here. There's the runway. Whoops. Whoops. I got something wrong. Yep, got something wrong. I was set up the wrong for the approach. I'm supposed to be heading 20. I am right now, so I'll just stay a little bit wide here. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request land, runway 20.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, winds are 172 at 5 knots, cleared to land runway 20.
Finally. Alrighty. Finally get on downwind here. When it gets dark like this, gets tougher to, the depth perception is much more difficult. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind, runway 20.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf altimeter 299er7 call turning final for runway 20.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 172 at 5 knots cleared for the option runway 20.
Alrighty. Took me a while to finally get her to understand what I wanted to do, but that's okay. "55 feet. Okay. Well, not your flaps. Yeah, much more fun. Okay. Turn on base. Second, not your flaps. Watch airspeed. Turn a little steep. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 172 at 5 knots cleared for the option runway 20.
Certainly high here. Way high, actually. Try not to push the nose down. Just pull the power back and just let it descend. All the flaps are in. Depth perception is a lot more difficult here. Forgot to turn my landing light on. Up we go. Okay, gotta get to a heading of 76. Looks like I'm 500 feet. Go ahead and turn. Okay. Got 23 miles to go, 15 minutes. Full power back. 2200. Definitely dark now. Remember my first night landing that I did in training. I was like so disoriented. I went ahead and made the turn to final, like basically where the tower was. my instructor took the yoke out of my hands. That was funny. Kind of like I was just so when you're you have an airport that's in a town, in a city. There's all kinds of lights, and it's hard to discern the airport lights from just the traffic lights. It was just so hard to discern that. So that back there wasn't bad at all. It was pretty obvious where the runway was. So, but also been flying a lot more hours than I was when that happened. So I would probably only had probably 20 hours at the most when I was doing some night flight training. So, but it was just so disorienting, and actually I really didn't like flying at night because of that experience. But anymore, I'm getting better at it, you know. You kind of got a map. You kind of like know where you're going, so ain't too big a deal. Yeah, we ain't got too much further to go, so I thought I'd just go ahead and try it, see how it works out. I'm also kind of testing the level of detail stuff to see. Earlier when I was moving my headset, the lights in the distance would come and go, kind of similar to what's similar but not as bad as in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Microsoft Flight Simulator in VR, it's not only just the lights, but I mean it's actually the scenery tends to come and go, and the like the points of interest, that kind of stuff. If you turn your head like that, then turn back, it's gone. the point of interest will be gone. When you look at it for a minute, or not minute, it's for a few seconds, then yeah, because I can watch one in the distance right now. When I turn my head this way, I don't see it. Turn it that way, I do. So that's a level of detail thing. And as I get closer, that doesn't happen anymore. So that's level of detail. That's what that means, is that it's at a certain distance from where you are, what's being shown. So to improve the performance, the stuff that's 50 miles away from you, you don't need to show it because you can't see it anyhow. So that's all what level of detail is how far away do I display something. And it's a way to improve frames, so you don't have to draw everything. Okay. So 124.95. 124. 124.905. Line 10, 905. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Humberside Tower on 124.9er, please repeat your request.
Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good evening. Squawk 1200, altimeter 299er 4, expect to enter on a left downwind for runway 20. Call downwind.
Okay. So it's the same runway heading as the previous airport. So. So 10 miles out and 5.5 minutes. Well, there's certainly an airport there. Yeah, that's got to be it. That's amazing how different that looks at night. How much further away you can actually see the airport, or the runway. That is amazing. That's 5 miles away. That is really crazy. I have to make sure that it isn't like just an illusion. But there is no other airports around, so that's got to be it. Let me look. Alrighty, so I got to be on the far side of this airport. To be on a downwind. Make sure. Yep. Okay. Yep, that's it. That is amazing. So, as hazy as it was, just because it's at night, and you can see all the lights, it's easier to see the airport. That is kind of crazy. But like I said, I don't fly at night very much, so I'm gonna pull back some power. I'm too high. Yeah, moon? Cool. Stars. Turn my landing light on. So maybe I can see what I'm doing. This will be even more fun to kind of judge distance away from the runway. Oh well. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I know I could see the beacon. So the beacon at night, and when it's IFR, so you're gonna have a beacon and it's gonna be white light, green light, white light, green light. And I absolutely saw that from a ways out, so. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 20.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call turning final for runway 20.
Alrighty. So I make sure my compass and directional gyro is reasonably well aligned. So I'm going at a little bit of an angle away from the airport. I think I'm far enough away now. Go ahead and square up with the runway. So the elevation here is 121 feet. Looking for the end of that runway. A little bit more difficult to see now because it's dark. Alrighty. So I'll pull power back a little bit. Hold on the yoke a bit. Airspeed drops. 1 notch of flaps. Let the airplane start to descend here. Really hard to judge reference here. Looking to be at a 45-degree angle. Still trying to stay parallel with the runway. I think we're good. So we'll go ahead and turn on base. Trying to keep the airspeed good. I'll try and not turn too steep, because your references are just gone. You just can't judge. So you really have to depend on your instruments to tell you what's going on here. Okay. So we're lined up here. We are high. That's okay. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 201 at 12 knots, cleared to land runway 20.
Alrighty. Just trying to get it trimmed up a little bit better here. Thank you for the follow, Slightly Dave. Just about ending the stream here. Can't believe how hard this is to judge. I know I'm kind of doing everything about what I need to do, but this is so hard to judge. That's all I do. Generally at a 172, but I need to branch into other airplanes. But we're flying in the UK. Last notch of flaps. Pull back on the power a little bit here, because we are a bit high. Landing lights on. Okay. Got quite a bit of runway here, so it should be okay. There's the threshold. That was a hard landing. That was so.
Exit runway when able.
That was so hard to judge, and it was hard to tell. Let me go over here a little bit. Where the center of the runway was. I thought I was actually off. Is that a taxiway? Let me go up a little bit. Yeah, I think it was. Hopefully we'll find another one. Wow. That's the first time I've actually done a serious night landing like that. It was so hard to judge where the runway was. And all of a sudden it was coming up like way too quick, and I had too much power pulled out. I'm looking for some taxiway lines, but they're not obvious. Landing lights don't do too good. Turn on taxi light too, but I don't know if it's doing any good. Too funny. May have to back taxi. Kinda don't see anything out this way. Yep, think I'm gonna back taxi. I seen something down that way, so. You should be able to see some blue lights. The taxiway there might have been. Nothing's obvious. Wow. Yeah, I'm flying in Great Britain. We're at Humberside Airport, and I went to stop. So is this actually a taxiway? Yeah. Wow. Man, is that hard to see. Whoops. Come on, turn, turn. There we go. Normally, turn. Normally on a taxiway, you would have blue lights on either side that would kind of tell you where the taxiway is. They are not here. so it makes it a lot more difficult. So normally it's not too hard. You know, you get on the runway and you just look for where the blue lights are. But all we got here is like green lights. So, and is there actually a taxiway over here? Nope, don't look that way. Looks just like grass. Yeah, looks like that's what we're doing. We're gonna park in the grass. I see other planes here, that's fine. Oop, don't want to get too close. Turn. Come on, turn. There we go. Think I'm okay. Pull back the power. Alright, we're good. Well, that was exciting. Put the parking brake on. Yeah, that was just an ugly landing. But that's what I was having. I was having a hard time trying to see the runway. You just lose all your references. So the runway, you're not seeing it well enough. And so that was kind of what happened. It's not my normal landings. Alrighty, so I got to turn the avionics off and pull back on the mix. Toop, toop, toop. Alrighty, turn all this crap off. And I'm in a dark airplane. Oh well. Alrighty, I'm gonna call this stream a day. What did we do? Wow, 2.5 hours. That's a long time for me. That was fun. That was fun. The stream started off really bad. I had some sound issues, but we kind of resolved all of that. So I'm going to call it a day. And but Slightly Dave, thank you so much for the follow. And oh, thank you so much, Iowa. I only stream the GA. And I've been spending my time in the UK recently, and so I fly about like what I did. I don't know, but a couple hours, something like that. And normally I start off a little bit earlier in the day, so it wouldn't be quite so dark. But I'm gonna call it a day. And since you've already followed Simply Dave. Then when I go ahead and stream again, you'll go ahead and see it. So yeah, no problem. That's what I do, and I will. So I'll be taking off from this airport. I'm not sure when. Probably tomorrow, maybe the next day. Haven't made up my mind yet. But I fly. I normally fly about the same time every day. Normally 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. So, alrighty. Thanks for jumping in, and I interact with chat as much as I can. If I'm on a final, I'm usually pretty focused, but any other time in a pattern or when I'm flying, I absolutely will interact with chat. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So thanks much. Guys all have a great day. I had a lot of fun today. Thank you.